Hey there, and happy Friday. So it finally feels like Friday. Does it feel like Friday for you guys? We joke that all week, like this is our third Friday day in a row. Like Wednesday it felt like Friday, Thursday it felt like Friday, and I just picked up my husband from a field errand and he's like, it's Friday, right? He was trying to calculate the amount of work he had left in the week and how many days to do that. And so I said, yes, today is Friday. So I am here to give you some Christmas inspiration. It's never too soon. Just dropped off some products with a local customer stamping friend, and yes, she just said I need to start on my Christmas projects and Christmas cards. Actually dropped off this paper for her to work on her. So I'm curious what she'll come up with, and maybe she'll even watch and get inspiration from this too. So the Traditions of Christmas Sweet collection is what I'm gonna show you here. So let me get my camera turned around. Right. And this is coming from the mini catalog. Hello there, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Oh, good. She's at a crop. I love that. I love it. And yeah, sometimes even going to a crop or any kind of event like that will get you inspired and just get information from other people too. And hopefully you're the person inspiring others also. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so here is the card. And before I get too much into the card and envelope itself, I don't want to get sidetracked because I do want to talk about that. I want to show you where this is coming from and a little bit about a crafting class that is tied into this as well. So in the mini catalog, you'll see on page 21 here where it kind of starts with the ideas for you. And you can see here they've got a box that has all these little cutout bouquets, and that's exactly what I'm using for today's card, but lots of gorgeous inspiration here. And this is where we break it down into the two bundles here, stamps and dies, and yes, they do coordinate. I know in the past sometimes Stampin' Up! Will trick us out. They'll put the label stamp set with this and this with that, and we can't figure it out, but they have it lined up. Love it. And this embossing folder is fun to work with. The ribbon's gorgeous. I'm also working with these sparkly sequins, and the paper, of course, can't say enough about. It's just so pretty. It's the next step up as far as cost. It's not the traditional $12.50, it's $16.50 because of the beautiful gold embossing that is on there too. And then yeah, it just keeps going on. What I love about this picture here is that I think it makes a beautiful Valentine card, or even if you just colored in and made like a spring bouquet. So I love it when we can have products that don't have to be just for Christmas, and it just keeps on going. So they've given us so many ideas for this, about 4 to 5 to 6 pages of that. So anyway, you guys probably have that. You can see that. And if you ever want the direct link for a specific catalog, let me know that too, because I can give that to you if you don't have a catalog in front of you. Hello there, Diane and Marie. All right, so here is a close-up, and it gives you a better idea of the Christmas greenery stamp set, and then the types of dies that come with that. Sometimes even these nice big like greenery leaves, like holly leaves, those can be just fun to add as backdrops for our sentiments and things like that too. And then labels are always popular. Anything that's just a plain shape that we can put sentiments, or even just cut out chunks of cardstock or pretty designer series paper is always good. And of course the traditional labels, that fits in well with that. I'm going to be using this as well. And then, of course, the traditional wreath 3D embossing folder here in the inside. I noticed I had like a leftover from my last project using it. So nice, deep 3D emboss with that. And then, oh, I did want to make a note too about a couple of the products. I forgot to check before I came live, and I'm wondering and thinking that these traditional sparkling sequins might be out of stock for now, not gone for good, but This also reminds me, if ever you're shopping and that happens and you see currently unavailable, just send me a quick message and text message, anything like that, just saying, hey, can you give me an idea when these are going to be back in stock? I love being able to look at that up for you, and that's why I wish that I would have checked ahead of time so that I know for sure if they're in or out and when to expect that. Same with this beautiful paper that I'm using today as the bouquet here is on the front of the card, and that is cut directly from the Traditions of Christmas specialty paper. This has been so popular, and part of it is because Stampin' Up! Is doing a class based on this whole suite of products. I do know that this will be back in stock. Originally it said like the week of November, I thought like the 17th or something like that. Now I see November 7th. So I don't know if I was looking in the tractor without glasses and got the wrong original date, or if it got bumped up earlier, which is great because that's now not so far away, but it is coming back in stock. And if you are local or will be coming to an upcoming class, I think I have one extra package of this too that I could set aside for you. Otherwise, you can wait and order too. All right, so that is kind of the note on that. So I want to let people know about that. The Traditions of Christmas class is an online virtual class put on by Stampin' Up! Alone. So I know you can get my ideas here for free, and that's what I love to do. Like I feel like a lot of demos are changing it so you have to pay to get their info or whatever, but I just feel like that is not why I got into crafting. But sometimes, like if you want something that looks different than what I do, that's where you can go to other places like Stampin' Up! So the Traditions of Christmas craft class is $30. If you purchase that and buy it, there's no shipping on that. It's just $30, and you can add that to your cart separate or add it with a regular order. Either way, if you need more information on that, if you can't find the code for that, let me know too. So the cost of the class is $30. You buy your materials that you'll need to coordinate with the projects you'll be making separately. So for those of you that maybe already have this suite, it might be something fun to get some inspo on that too and not have to rethink the wheel on everything. And I'm not competing with or against Stampin' Up! It's just like I only have so much time to make, so many projects for you in person using these products, where, if you could get a whole class because you bought the suite, then that's awesome too. So then the other thing I want to show you that I am using are these card and envelopes. So before I get started, this was for a recent class, and they come in packs, and this is called Textured Stripes Mix and Match Cards and Envelopes from the annual catalog. So what you get then is nice sized envelopes. So these are a little bit bigger than what our 8.5 by 11 cut in half regular size is. So you'll see it's got some nice stripes there. Hopefully the camera picks that up. And then the envelopes always look so special from Stampin' Up! When they coordinate with our card bases too. So the front is plain, which is nice for writing, and that way nothing gets mistaken for part of an address or in confusion with that. So these come together like so, and this pack has 10 cards and envelopes. So you would get 5 of the red and 5 of the blue. So the red is Real Red and the blue is Misty Moonlight. So I like to let people know about that. Another card card envelope combination that we have too is called the Embossed Designs Mix and Match Specialty Cards and Envelopes. Anytime you're looking for these, they're usually found excuse me, usually found in the catalog in the area with the ephemera packs, mix and match greetings, note cards, things like that. Excuse me. I didn't think I'd been coughing that much today, but like I said, I just got back from a field errand, so maybe that's all it takes is just to step outside into the ladybug dust, right? Okay, so this is also an option. I haven't opened these up, so let's maybe just do that quick because that only takes a second. Because, I'm kind of curious. I think the lines go, well, I know they go all the way across, but I'm trying to think if it's on back and front And then for the envelopes, I'm kind of curious too how that looks. I'm going to tear this open because I have these on my desk. I would like to kind of use these, and sometimes I use these as a help for myself when I have a lot of upcoming classes, which I think I have like about 6 in 6 weeks. So they help me so I don't have to do 100% prep work on every single design I make. All right, so you can see here that these have the stripes. Hello there, Margaret, watching from North Carolina. I love that. And Julie didn't say she's from Iowa, but I just saw Julie popped on. She's watching from Iowa. So here, same size as that. Stripes on the front, not there on the back, but then the envelope flap too has stripes there, but and then also these have little like polka dots, so hopefully you can see the difference there too. And then this pack is, it feels thicker. No, 10 cards and envelopes. Maybe it's just because of, I don't know. So anyway, I won't keep going on about that, but hopefully that will give you a little bit of an idea about a product that I don't show all that often. But it was fun to show it at a recent class and just to see the reaction of, oh, what's this? You know, anytime I think the shape alone is different, people kind of take notice as well. So there we go. Yes, the bugs. My husband, I have to just tell you, like Friday, I feel like I have my squirrel. Today has just been squirrel moments all day. Like I'm so distracted. And I just want to get all my work done so I can watch the Gopher game on TV. Last Saturday, Drake and I went and saw it live with a friend in his suite. And it was just like so exciting. And so I want to watch that tonight from home. But I feel like I'm just like so distracted. And I think part of it is just the bad habit of anytime I get in the middle of something, I get called out. So I just kind of am in this like revolving limbo of, do I start something or will I get called out? So now it's become a habit. You know that? So he came in, he goes, oh, the ladybugs are bad today. And I went, really? As one's like crawling across our kitchen counter, like this one, you know? And so then I was hauling groceries in, and I have the bad habit of leaving the door open when it's nice. And so he didn't see that I was bringing in groceries. All he saw was like the door's wide open. He's like, did you hear the ladybugs are bad today? I said, really? I said, it's such a beautiful day. I left that door open for 3 hours just trying to get fresh air in the house. And he gave me this look of, are you serious or are you being funny? It was kind of funny to see his look. And then he saw the groceries and went, oh, okay. And then saw the vehicle door open as well. But yes. And so I hate that when they start to cover the windows. The ladybugs are the worst, but I did see a box elder bug too. And sometimes those can just be all consuming as well. Enough about the squirrels and the bugs, right? Okay, so let's get started on the card. So here we have it. And if you guys want the measurements, my glass mat's pretty easy with that. So it is a quarter this way. So that is the measurements for that, to give you an idea. And then, of course, the envelope is just slightly bigger. I love using my bone folder for the envelopes too. I'm going to set my envelope aside because we don't need that. And now this should come together actually pretty quick since I've rambled so much, because all the pieces are pretty much cut ahead of time. So what I did was took some garden green cardstock, and that is cut 3 by 4.75, 3 by 4.75. And I put it in my embossing folder intentionally to a part that would get the most out of the design. And I thought, okay, I want a lot of the design to show, but yet I know like this part's going to get covered up. So if I can tip it, that's okay, but I wanted this to show. So intentionally, I put it in at that angle and area for that reason. And so that is why it looks like that. And because this is a larger card, and I'm used to, you know, working with a certain amount of space, I am kind of putting my thing kittywampus like a little bit like this way and that way at an angle to take up more space, because I feel like if I start to layer my card like this, then it just looks even longer and just doesn't cover the space of the card, and I wanted it to look full. So I'm just going to take and put this down at an angle. And then these frames, if you're wondering, okay, where's that frame? Maybe if I add this to it and then picture the next size larger, then do you remember when I made this card? Recently I brought it out. So when you do the beautiful gallery suite, the dies that do the 2 frames, I had all these leftover pieces after doing that. So I am, I don't think I'm using this, no, just this secondary smaller frame for this project, because I love being able to use things, and I love being able to show you if you're in the same boat as I am. Like, how can we use up these little pieces so that we don't save them and not use them? Are we all guilty of that? Probably yes. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit of an angle, not a huge amount there, like so. All right. Nancy says she's just like me with distractions. I am so glad it's not just me. I don't know. I don't feel like I used to be this way. I used to be very focused. And I think, like I said, it depends on the season. So next what I want to do is take, and I've pre-cut these greenery pieces from the Christmas greenery. So I have this big one that looks like evergreen, I think. And this that looks like, I always call it greenery. I don't know what that leaf would be. If you know, please tell me. And so I cut out one of these in, this one is in garden green. And then these 2, I cut 2 of them in old olive because I wanted it to look full. And let me just grab my take your pick tool. I kind of want to just poke out a couple extra little pieces. Maybe that one won't even show, but this one might. So I'll just poke out those extra little pieces there. And it looks like there's a couple on here as well. Just get rid of those. Okay, so cut those out ahead so they're ready to go. And I have popped them up. So I'm going to start with the outside pieces. And I'm going to flip those over, and I'm going to grab some actual mini dimensionals, because there's not, even though these are, let me set the card aside so you get a better idea of the sizing of that. When I cut these out, and because of the color of old olive, does anybody else think they look like the Grinch? I feel like it looks like the Grinch's Christmas tree. And so that's what I thought of immediately. But because it's kind of skinny, I wanted to get some dimensional for height and fluff on my card. So I went for minis because they'll fit without showing. And then in case something would sneak through, I used the black mini dimensionals because that won't pop and be as obvious as the white mini dimensionals. Okay, so now I'm just going to put that on there like so, and that on there like so. And then same thing here with this this piece of greenery. I think this is going to be great for anything. Like, it almost looks tropical. I'm really excited about, I get excited about the greenery pieces because just adding foliage of any kind can make things look so elegant and just fill up space. So I'm always about that. So I'm just going to put that there and there and kind of just add that to the middle. All right, so got that, filling it up. And so now our card looks really nice and full already. That's going to be kind of our background there. So next, what I want to do is show you my die. So remember the 12 by 12, I was showing you all those pretty patterns on there. So this is part of the 12 by 12. And what I just did is took my scissor ahead of class and just cut out a bunch of these kind of loosely and just let them pick. Some of the bouquets had all red flowers. Oh yeah, so you can see all of these are red. Mine has some pinks and reds, and then they could kind of choose what they wanted. But isn't it so lovely when we have these dies that can just cut this out in one fell swoop, and your flowers are colored in, you've got the gold embossing on there, it's all done. But like I said, there's a stamp too of this exact image where if you want to make it look different, or spring or whatever, or Valentine, this would make a great Valentine bouquet too. You could do that. So this is going to kind of tuck. So all I'm going to do is end up with dimensional at the top. That's all I'm going to do for that. And actually, I'm not even going to take it off. I'm just going to kind of set that aside. And then next, I'm going to stamp out, finally stamping, you guys. So Real Red ink. And let me pull out the Season's Greetings. And you know, sometimes the way these dies are, this one's not terrible. You can easily see. So I've cut the dies out ahead of time, and I wasn't sure if it would be easy to stamp this on a pre-cut out die, and everybody had 100% success right from the get-go. So that was exciting to see. It's just that easy because of it being photopolymer. I wasn't sure, and I think it was actually easier to die cut first and then stamp versus what I usually say is to stamp first and then die cut. So that was easy. Plus, I feel like they give us a lot of space too to work on that. It's not super tight that way. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is just put down some adhesive right on top of my greenery here. Kind of looks like that. Hopefully you can see the shininess. And speaking of shiny, look at this Real Red. Oh, shiny ribbon. I didn't know that was in the title. Now it comes to me. So Real Red shiny ribbon. So pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's not thin, but kind of thinner, very easy to work with. I think it's just so pretty. So I'm just going to do kind of this loose bow is what I call it, like this. Just kind of overlapping like that. Oh, I think I want it a little bit wider because our card is bigger. So let me just move that, make sure my fingers are in the camera, like so, and like so. And then I'm just going to take my ribbon cutting scissors here, cut that, kind of scoot so that these are more in the middle like that. Okay, and then that is going to go across my card like so. And now I can take my dimensionals. It should stick where I put that adhesive. So now I'm going to put my dimensional top off there. So that's going to stick like so. I want it to stay flat. There we go. I'm going to put that down there. And this is where, of course, you want like 45 extra hands. Just going to put some pieces of dimensional. Like this was the last couple little chunks that I had on my sheet. So I'm going to use that up. And then that is going to go over top. And because this already has like the bow there that you can see, and this kind of looks like maybe like some bow, I'm going to try and get my Season's Greetings to like cover that up a little bit like that. And then it doesn't look like we've got the red bow that I'm trying to adjust here and the green around the greenery and all of that. But it just kind of looks fun to have that set in there like so. And then of course we need some sparkle. I think at Christmas time, like you can never do too much sparkle, too much embossing powder, any of that, because it all goes together so well. And if you're just joining in, the traditional sparkling sequins, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if they're in right now or not. So I'm going to grab one of the larger, lighter green ones and just kind of put that in the corner of the white frame like so. Just they sparkle, so fun. And then another one, I'm just going to kind of put that like outside the frame down here. And then let's see, I think, yeah, I want to do them all the same size because this is a larger card. I think the small ones might, I don't know, just kind of fade into it too much. So just to add a little bit of sparkle, it just kind of fills out the rest of the framing of the card. And even though this is like a lot of buildup, it still easily will fit in your card. You know, even the ribbon, it doesn't get all that bulked up. So these are almost completely flat, as you can see. I'm trying to get the camera, like you can hardly tell. These are flat, flat, flat. So that helps too. And then for the inside, all I'm going to do to kind of coordinate the look of that swirly greeting is I'm going to put the Sending Love and Joy in Real Red for the inside. So yeah, these cards are the Real Red with the stripes, and then the insides are the white. So they're really nice for leaving open for your sentiments and such. And like I said, coordinating envelopes as well. So if you have any questions on anything that I'm working with, always just reach out to me. Like I said, especially for things that might be missing because they're out of stock for now. Always check. Even if you're wondering, like, are they out of stock now? Are they gone for good? Because sometimes when when people see currently unavailable, they get nervous, like, is it gone for good? And most times it is not, because you wouldn't see it. You would just have the code or the thing in a blank screen. And so that's your nervousness of, I missed a chance. But, and if you have any questions too on that crafting class, for $30 that Stampin' Up! Is offering, like I said, in the search bar, put Traditions of Christmas Craft Class, and it should pop up that way too. And for those of you that might need some of the supplies still, they will be coming in. So that's good to know. So I'm going to leave you with that for the weekend, and hopefully I'll be back with you early next week again for some more inspiration. So I'm already looking forward to that too. So have a great weekend, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.